Hey, welcome to Idea Cochise with Cochise Rome. Today we're going to do things a little bit different. If you've been following any of my videos, you know two things about me at least. One, I like comics. Secondly, I like MMA. Today we're going to review all of the new issue 1 from the DC reboot of last week and this week. So I'm going to grade these things on a couple of factors. One being the content, then the artwork, then the potential, and the it factor. I'm not, just to let you know, I'm not an artist. I don't know how to draw anything, so I'm not going to knock anyone's artwork if it's not that bad. So maybe some other people are like, you know, they're very about the anatomy and how to draw the human body. I'm not like that. If it pleases me, it pleases me. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm just going to give you. I'm not going to give you reviews. I'm just going to give you a recap of some of the issues I've read and whether or not you should buy it. Okay, guys, let's get into it. Okay, Animal Man. This was a book I was not expecting to enjoy. Just looking at the cover, this thing looks very weird to me. But I have to say the artwork's great for the grotesque nature of the comic book itself. It seems that the struggles that Animal Man has is grotesque. However, the character himself is actually quite normal. We get to learn about Animal Man's family, his struggles between his multiple public personas, and the issue of his powers and how it relates to the animal kingdom. I was sad there was not more of everything that the comic provided at the end of this issue, which is actually the best thing to have. I definitely want to read issue 2 as soon as it comes out. This comic, I'll put this as a footnote, sets the tone of the new DC reboot's endings. I get into that more later. Batgirl is poison. Okay, Batgirl. Just knock it off. The artwork is adequate. It starts off with Batgirl in an action sequence where it shows that she's fallible. And I like that because it actually illustrates what happens if you take too much time off from being a superhero. And for those who don't know, Batgirl's Barbara Gordon, and her father is police commissioner Jim Gordon. Barbara Gordon decides to leave the house, which is a good thing, because I don't know how she can be Batgirl without it. But then she ends up having a roommate, and I don't understand what is up with all the DC heroines outside of Wonder Woman, but every female hero has to have a roommate for some reason. Like, they can't make it on their own. I just don't understand that. It makes them seem vulnerable in a lot of different ways, even though when it's time to actually throw down, they actually do some, you know, crazy superhero stuff like they're supposed to do. The potential of this book is actually looking very good. Everything I was looking forward to, everything to the last couple of pages kind of fucked it up for me. There's a couple of character just illogical actions that take place in the last few pages that really kind of damper this book for me. But I will say it was a good story. I learned a lot about Barbara Gordon as a character. I cared about what she was doing. I'm just not too sure on how things are going to take place after the next issue, but I'm willing to spend $2.99 plus tax to see how this plays out. So I wouldn't say it's a definite buy, but it's definitely worth picking up. Okay, Batwing. This is another comic book I did not expect to enjoy whatsoever. This actually leads me to be a little more optimistic about the new Ultimate Spider-Man, who is a black and Latino man. I really did like Batwing a lot. I think this has some fantastic art. Black people look like black people. And I like the fact that Batwing works with the authorities, something that he needs to do in Africa. They talk about corruption and police wages. There's not a lot of characters, and that actually works to its advantage. There is a tad needless appearance by Batman who doesn't really do too much, but at least you know that he's like a mentor of Batwing. The ending kind of follows a theme that I'm going to talk about a little bit later on, but I would definitely pick up issue 2. Detective Comics issue 1 kind of puts Bruce Wayne back into that pre-Infinite Crisis era where he's a little more self-righteous. It's good to see him solve puzzles and look for clues and try to find the motives out for the Joker, who I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's right on the front cover, so you know the Joker is involved. The Joker engages in a fistfight combat with Batman. Now, I've always found that a little uncharacteristic, but you know, it's also self-defense, so I can't knock it that hard. There's a great twist ending. The only problem I have to say is that it feels like there's too much already established before you get into this comic book, which kind of makes the whole reboot thing a little unnecessary. But given the amount of Batman comic books on the market, it's kind of hard not to do. Either way, overall, this week from DC, this is probably the best combination of art and story. I'm definitely picking up Detective Comics issue 2. Green Arrow issue 1. Lame! Why does Oliver Queen look like Connor? And how does Green Arrow get this whole Oracle database tech group working for him? None of this stuff is explained. Okay, he ends up fighting a whole bunch of lame villains in the middle of the book. And at the end, it just promises even more stupider, lamer villains at the end. I'm not buying this, and I regret reading this issue. Justice League International. Now, here's the thing. As a positive, the art is kind of simple, but it's very classic. Here's the problem. All the words in the story. Now, what is the Justice League International's mission? The UN forms this group, but they seem kind of like Checkmate from 2 DC reboots ago. Batman is for some reason both on this team and the regular Justice League. You don't know anything about anyone's personality or powers, and there's too many of them fighting creatures that are brainless with no goal. There's no reason to be for or against the League's formation. The reader doesn't get a chance to learn about anyone's personalities except Booster Gold, Batman, Guy Gardner, and Red Rocket. Everything else is done. Unless you're Dan Jurgens fanboy, please leave this thing alone. It is terrible. Static Shock issue 1. Skip it! Swamp Thing issue 1. Okay, DC's been hyping this thing up, and I have to say, this one kind of paid off in spades. There is a cameo by Superman, which at first I didn't really like. However, it establishes that Swamp Thing is now in the real DC universe out of many, many years of being in Vertigo stories and Elseworld stories. Good character-driven story. It alludes to the impact that Swamp Thing can not only have on the main character, but the world itself. I'm definitely ready for issue 2. Guys, pick this up and pick issue 2 up when it comes out. The artwork complements the story. If you like Rob Liefeld, just to be ironic, buy this book. If not, skip it. It's shitty. Action Comics issue 1 succeeded where Detective Comic issue 1 did not. It's a classic story rather than things being already established. Clark Kent is a little bit different, but Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, General Lane, and Lex Luthor are all the same at the core. I kind of wish Lex Luthor was a little more different, but the way this story is told, it seems like he still can be. The artwork is great. One thing I'm very, very interested in is seeing exactly how much damage Superman can take at this point. They established early on that he's not as powerful as you may remember him before the reboot. I'm definitely picking up issue 2 of Action Comics. Our Men of War start off with 8 pages of shit I don't care about. Everyone has the same facial construction. It seems like the government is trying to do something that we don't really know what's going on. However, the second half picks up tremendously. A superhuman or a robot appears on the side of the heroes, but something happens to that. So this seems like the Sergeant Rock of this generation. I'm glad they introduced superhumans or powerful beings, seeing how the lead protagonist is a human himself. The artwork needs a fucking rehaul immediately. I'm not that interested in the team dynamics, but I will at least read the next issue to see what happens with the superhuman or robotic element that they put in. There is a backstory that's fucking boring and that you should skip. So Men of War, it has potential, but as it stands right now, I would have to, if you're hurting for money, don't buy this one. O.M.A.C issue 1. Skip it! Stormwatch issue 1. Apparently, the Stormwatch team has been protecting Earth for the past couple of centuries. and the things that they're up against are very interesting. One thing I love about this comic book is that all the characters in it are very confident with their powers. It's a nice twist ending at the end. The character which appears is predictable, but his actions are not. I am really looking forward to issue 2. Okay, so that's my review of all the DC Reboot issue number 1s that came out outside the Justice League that came out almost 2 weeks ago. Here's the thing. Here's the biggest problem. There's been 14 total Reboot issues coming out as of this video. 7 of them, Animal Man, Batgirl, Batwing, Static Shock, Action Comics, Hawk and Dove, and Men of War, all end with a shocking death twist. It's not fucking shocking if you're doing 7 of them out of 13 issues that come out for 1 week. That seemed like a very, very terrible editorial decision by DC Comics. Here's the thing. I'm going to be doing this all this month. I'm going to review all the 52 comics and tell you which ones are good, which ones are bad, and the ones that I did not like. I'm going to wait until their current story arc is finished, and then I'm going to come back to them and give them one more shot. And if they suck, then fuck it, I'm not doing it. Other than that, guys, this idea Cochise, DC Reboot, halfway good, halfway bad. Guys, please check out Detective Comics, Action Comics, Animal Man, Swamp Thing, Stormwatch, not Static Shock, and Batwing. Those things are definite must-buys. Everything else is kind of, maybe Batgirl if you had the money. Okay, guys, take care.